please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, subdates 230421.8. For the weekend, I've got to crack on and try and make a few project-related videos. To make it quieter on board the Arcadia, we've moved Bork, who's still crucified, to the lowest deck on this ship, which is on the outer hull magnetized to the lowest plate. Hello everyone, welcome to the exhibition of stupid people. Today we're going to start with Prince Harry. Recently it was announced via Twitter, and the BBC defund the BBC, Prince Harry will attend King Charles's coronation, but Meghan will stay in California with their children, Buckingham Palace has said. There had been much in the way of speculation as to whether or not Harry would attend. For the sake of optics, he has to attend, and also because he is one of two children, supposedly, sired by the king. Although let's face it here, he does not look like his dad in the slightest. His face is far too small for such a big head. More than 2,000 people are expected to attend Westminster Abbey on May the 6th for the coronation itself. It will also mark the first time Prince Harry will be seen with the royal family since his memoir, Spare, was published. That rather pricey doorstop that was already on sale for like half price the moment it was released. That's not damage control now, is it? In that memoir, which made him look like a whiny emo boy, but slightly well edited comparative to that of a diary, he wrote vividly about the depths of his disagreements with other members of the royal family, and that he felt different from the rest of his family. I mean, the priorities were always to make sure the lines of succession were important. Prince Charles, now King Charles, has always maintained a very eco stance on many issues, and has sought to try and rebuild the relationship with the public, which he succeeded in doing. It took him decades to do it. You shat on that by making some rather false claims. The decision for Meghan to reject the invitation will be seen as part of these unresolved family tensions. I don't think it's that. She's not needed. How about that? We don't need Netflix there also taking photos for their own little specials. And rather amusingly, while he attends to his father for his coronation while citing father issues in his own little grievances, he misses his son's 4th birthday, which is on the same day. I can't wait for your son to release his own memoir called Spare Jr. Whatever the part he'd play in the coronation itself, I do hope it be minimal and he be sat in the peanut gallery. While no doubt Charles will want him somewhere nearby because it's his son, you can be certain that he, Harry, and his brother William will not really want to do much in the way of conversing with one another because, well, one of them's a bitch and the other one's a future king of England. Harry, though, has issued a warning to King Charles over the toxic atmosphere, with some demands for the coronation itself, because Harry actually wanted a summit with King Charles and Prince William to discuss their issues before the event itself. It has also since been updated that Harry will be seated with other non-working members of the royal family, along with those he has no bad blood with. My view? Again, peanut gallery right at the back behind everyone. In fact, stick him behind Jill Biden, because Joe wouldn't make it through the ceremony. Stick him behind Jill. Harry's also not expected to take part in the King's procession, the coronation procession, to and from Buckingham Palace, nor will he be on Buckingham Palace balcony after the coronation, a tradition akin to that of the Vatican. When they announce a new pope, the new pope walks out onto a balcony to the masses. A source close to the royal family has said that Harry's been very clear and his position hasn't wavered. He isn't going to come if he feels the atmosphere will be as toxic as it was during the Queen's Platinum Jubilee and funeral. He said he wants to reconcile with his family, and it's their call, but so far nothing has changed. As an update to this, it was announced that Harry will definitely attend the ceremony, because according to a friend of the couple, Harry and King Charles had had some positive conversations. Harry, though, has yet to speak to William as part of this reconciliation. I think, for the sake of what happens going forward, I think Harry shouldn't be allowed to attend in the first place. He should have his royal title stripped from him, and quite frankly, he should sod back off to Ivory Towers, Silicon Valley, because I actually don't give a crap what he does. He's not a working royal member of the family. He's just a bitch. A whiny, annoying man-child. He has been that for a while, and all these demands, a power play, isn't going to work, because on May the 6th, King Charles III's reign will officially begin. Harry doesn't have to be there for that, but the next in line does. In fact, the only person that looks bad if you don't turn up is you. Harry, that is. I still think a DNA test would resolve this really quickly. I still think you're James Hewitt's son. Moving on. Daily Loud on Twitter. Plus-size traveller demands free seats, better accommodations on airlines. With the quote, all plus-size passengers should be provided with an extra free seat or 2 to 3 seats depending on their size to accommodate their needs and ensure their comfort during the flight. Reply underneath, meanwhile people in wheelchairs get treated like luggage. I'm not going to go to the Daily Loud article, but I have a New York Post one. Jae'lynn Cheney from Vancouver, Washington, started the Change.org petition demand for the FAA to protect plus-sized customers. It's a Change.org petition. What the hell is the FAA? Does it stand for Fat Arseholes Anonymous? Because Jae'lynn, you're not anonymous in this. Cheney kicked off the petition claiming she and her fiancé, if it's male it's fiance, just so you know, were subjected to discrimination on a recent flight from Pasco to Denver, which roughly takes just over 2 hours. She claims other passengers refused to sit next to them, with the pair receiving hateful comments and disapproving looks while travelling. Understandably so, when you take up 2 to 3 seats. Don't expect much in the way of sympathy from others when you are inconveniencing people. If there's only 2 seats next to a window, and you take up 1.5 of them, someone is not going to want to sit in that half seat, are they? Even if they're only paying half the price for half the seat. They're not going to want to, are they? We've been doing this before. We've had this discussion with people like this. Stop demanding all these extra concessions, because you ain't getting shit. A quote. On another flight, I was forced to occupy only 1 seat with immovable armrests that caused me pain and bruises, citing that her and her partner purchased extra seats on their own. They are still mistreated by other passengers and airline staff. Jae'lynn Cheney said her experiences flying caused her pain and vulnerability. Hit the gym then, you'll have less of these problems. Oh, but it's a thyroid problem. Oh, but body positivity. No, this is not, and I'm going to look at your hashtags on Instagram here, it's not inclusive travel. You're not a plus-size travel blogger. You're just fat. Flying while fat. By the way, just a thing here. If you're going to say plus size in some of your tags and then go flying with fat or fat girls traveling, in between all this crap, do understand here that I want to lean more towards one of those than the other, because there are many people who are plus size that can still fit in 1 average seat. My favorite hashtag from all of those is representation matters and fat wonder babes. Sure. Do you do 10k steps a day by chance? Or are we around the Amberlin Reed area of 900? A day. She's also said in regards to the Fat Arseholes Anonymous, the FAA must require all airlines to implement a clear customer of size policy that prioritizes the comfort and well-being of all passengers. In her petition, she has fundamentally misunderstood the point of an airline. To make sodding money, you fucking reprobate. This policy should include clear guidelines on accommodating larger passengers. While I know America is known for its love of being fatty fat, or plussy plus sized, yes? No is the answer to that. This should include larger seats, seatbelt extenders, and alternative seating arrangements. Or maybe we should put you in those same seats as those who are disabled and strap you in with every bungee cord imaginable. You won't have to worry about one bruise, your body will just become a bruise. All plus-size passengers should be provided with an extra free seat, or even 2 or 3 depending on their size, to accommodate their needs and ensure their comfort, blah blah blah. For plus-size passengers who purchase extra seats on their own, Cheney wants the airlines to fully reimburse their additional seats, saying the process should be straightforward. I disagree. Again, airlines exist to make money. You are taking the money away from them. They provide the service, and if you are not capable of fitting in the seat you have paid for, that sounds a whole lot like a you problem a bit. Don't expect sympathy from me on this, honestly. By the way, just because this tickled me to no end, I saw this via Def Noodles. Yeah, I didn't realize I was unblocked. Who tweeted, can we actually do this for all passengers? Like, just give me a whole row so I can sleep. The thing is, actually, in some planes, certain classes, you can pay for essentially your own little room. You really can. The thing is, they don't account for the width of the person, yeah? They're not going to make them into gigantic thrones. No, because people aren't going to pay for that much. It would be too expensive. Cost and effect, yeah? No one's going to make that kind of concession for you because you're the one that has chosen to be that big. You can say you're plus-sized or body positive all you like, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to start making money for your blogging or from your blogging so you can pay for bigger seats. Simple as that. And these demands, please, the cringe. You can take your cringe and have it shoved up your fat arse anonymously. Honestly, please do that. So next, let's talk about Salt Bae. Recently, Salt Bae was slammed as being shameless because he has decided to help students out. He has done them a solid. At times of hardship, with the cost of living going up, Salt Bae has stepped up and said, "I've got your backs, bro. I will support you as best I can by offering a 30% discount off of the gold-wrapped steaks to university students, even though those steaks will still likely cost over £1,000, which, when you really break it down, is a ginormous markup. Apparently you pay for the cabaret, the pantomime, the show, the dancers, and you being fed by somebody else. This particular discount is in Boston at his restaurant there. Other cheaper cuts of gold meat range from $650 to $1,100. He shared this on Instagram while posting in front of the Harvard Business School. Caption, "I could not go to the school. Education is very precious. 30% discount to all students in Boston." People, though, decided to flood his comments, pointing out that even with the discount, only the wealthiest can afford to eat at those restaurants. I'll be honest, if you can afford to go to places like Harvard, you probably can afford one of his steaks, because your dad will pay for it. One fan asked, "However, this is money for you. Why don't you pay a scholarship to some students?" Another, "How about free meals to college students? College students ain't got no money, man. We try to get loan forgiveness as we speak." And a third, "It smells more like early stage customer engagement rather than any pinch of good-heartedness." I see what you did there with the pinch of salt thing. I like that. I can fully understand, by the way, that many students in many areas of the world can't afford to go to these restaurants. It does come across as a bit tongue-in-cheek, but he also does know his market in that area. He was hardly going to open one of these restaurants up in the sticks. You know, it was never going to work. He'll go with the hottest spots where he knows the money is the biggest, so he can flaunt his wealth on social media, that people can also take a shot at him because apparently he's not allowed to, show off that he's got all this now. Yeah, alright. Let's move on. We've got one more topic. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, former governor of California, a reasonably well-known actor. I guess he's more notable now for being a bit more climate conscious, ditching the legendary Humvees. He has recently gotten into a bit of hot bother with city officials because he decided to help fix the road. I know, you really shouldn't do that. Usually there's a reason for things. Also, roads are bad, everyone. Let's go back to the good old days of mud tracking, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger posted to his social media that he was filling in a pothole. To his 5.1 million Twitter followers, the video showed him and a friend labouring to fill in this pothole. He wrote, "Today, after the whole neighbourhood has been upset about this giant pothole that's been screwing up cars and bikes for weeks, I went out with my team and fixed it. I always say, let's not complain, let's do something about it. Here you go." During that same video, a driver stopped and said thank you, also saying, "You have to do it yourself. This is crazy. For 3 weeks, I've been waiting for this hole to be closed." LA city officials said that, the location's not a pothole. It's a service trench that relates to active permitted work being performed at the location by SoCal Gas, who expected the work to be completed by the end of May. So, as is often required by these companies, they have to repair the area once the work is complete. Meaning that what he'd done wasn't in fact filling in a pothole, but interfering with SoCal Gas. I thought in some places, it is here in the UK, considered damaging of public property, roads and all that. You shouldn't be doing it yourself, because that's where your taxes go, everyone. And I know taxation's theft. But Arnie, being the ever intrepid, caring kind of guy at his ripe old age of 21 plus many anniversaries, may not have realised that he was, delaying that repair time from SoCal Gas. LA's a shithole anyway. Filling in the holes in the road is just like polishing a turd.